Welcome back to another episode of the Adventures of a Disney Dad podcast. Chip and I are back, and we're here to chat all things Disney. This week, we're going to talk about your listener questions. The inbox has been getting a little on the full side, so we apologize. We've got to get some of these questions answered, and we're really looking forward to it because there's some fun ones. And I'm getting ready to go down to Walt Disney World, so we'll probably talk a little bit about that. Might talk a little football just because there's some football related questions in here, so bear with us if you're not a sports person. But before we get started, I really want to just say thank you to everybody that's reached out for a quote from me to be your travel agent. As everybody knows, my services are completely free. I'm a travel agent with the Magic Plus Travel. It supports everything that we do on the podcast, and lately there's been a ton of listeners that have been reaching out for quotes, and I love helping plan your vacations and answering your questions, and Chip and I love doing this, so we very much appreciate it. But yeah,
you're my travel agent too, so I'll give you a little plug
true.
too. You are my travel agent.
Yeah, we got to get you on some more trips, man. We got the cruise planned, but we got to get you going. And that said, one other thing I want to mention, King, who works for Disney Vacation Club, Chip and I met the last time we were down at Walt Disney World. She reached out, and because I'm going to be at the Riviera this weekend, and I'm hoping to meet up with her, but she reached out just like with some well wishes because she knew I was coming down with the kids. She said hi to you, Chip.
Yeah,
big shout out to King. We really appreciate her and all the people at Disney. Obviously, our Universal people too. We love. We got to do a little bit more Universal.
Everybody that reaches out, all our past guests that always comment and talk to us. It's just people are normal. It's so great. Love it.
Yeah, it's fun. And definitely say hi if you see us in the parks too, as always. I'll be with my kids, but don't be afraid to say hi. My wife gets it, so we can manage it. So anyway, I want to jump into the first listener question. And I had some back and forth about this just because I wasn't sure if our listener was going to be down before we got to record. But I think he's going to be watching this weekend, or he's going to be at Disney World and wants the answer to this question for this weekend. So it's good that we're answering it now. He wants to watch the big Georgia-Alabama football game, which is, I think, at 7:30 on Saturday night. My Illinois Fighting Illini, they're playing their butts off this year, 4-0. So shout out to my Illini. They're also playing a big game at 6:30. Technically, I think it'd be 7:30 Eastern against Penn State. A nationally televised game. And so I really want to know, what I'm going to do too, because I'm in the same boat. I'm going to be at Disney on Saturday night. What are the best places at Walt Disney World to watch a big game? It can be college basketball, college football, NFL. Chip, I know that we've answered this question before, and I feel like we have some go-tos, mostly because the options are really kind of limited. But what are some of your thoughts on this question?
Yeah, so I actually just looked it up because I wanted to see what channels they were on, what networks they were on. So the Illinois game's on NBC, and then the Georgia-Alabama game's on ABC, which that's not an issue. 100% you can watch the Alabama-Georgia game. You can watch it from your room, or you could go to probably downstairs to the bar. I think almost every bar, I want to say the majority of the bars that aren't really in a restaurant have TVs, and the ones that are, like Steakhouse 71 has one, has multiple TVs, but the majority of the bars have a TV and they'll have the games on. The NBC,
most likely not audio though. That is
the one thing. Yeah, there's going to be no audio, but I mean, you're at a bar anyways. It's loud. The only thing that I would say is the NBC game, Matt, for you, it might not be on because it's not an ABC affiliate, which is Disney owns. But you should be able it should still be on. I mean, it's a primetime game. I mean, you could go to Rick's Sports Bar. That's always the big one. You could, I mean, that's the big one everybody says to go to, but
like the reality is most people are not going to Coronado Springs.
The two big ones, go to Disney Springs. There's a couple places at Disney Springs that are going to have it. City Works, and then
Splitsville.
Splitsville. I always forget the name.
Yep.
They'll have everything, and they'll have audio. Probably, being that we're an SEC country, you're probably going to get the SEC game. But they might have audio split somewhere else too. So that'd be a question to ask. But those, I think if you
want that Georgia Bama game and you want the audio, which is specifically what our listener asked, I think your best shot is going to be City Works or Splitsville. Rick's, I know for sure because I've watched a lot of games there.
Yeah.
They will pipe in the audio for one of the games that they're watching or one of the events that they're watching. You just don't know for sure which one it's going to be. You can always ask. I'm sure you're not going to be the only one there wanting to watch. Georgia and Alabama. I can't remember if he was a Tide fan or a Bulldogs fan, so I think it was Go Dogs, but I can't remember for sure.
Listen, you're going to be able to go pretty much anywhere outside of the parks to a bar and watch it. You're not going to see it in parks. The
sleeper pick on this one is the NBC Bar and Grill at the Universal City Walk. That place is nice. And the benefit there is if like you're not doing a park day, you can go over there and there's a lot to do. There's desserts, there's drinks, there's good food. Like the Universal City Walk is a good place to be versus Rick's where you're just like going there like for that and then you're bouncing back.
Yeah.
Obviously you get the same benefit if you go to Disney Springs. But Universal City Walk is just as fun. So there's some great options there.
Kind of going on that, Matt. I know I've been asked this about a cruise. Hey, well, the games on the cruise. We were on the cruise and it was wild card weekend, and we go down to the bars and they had all of the games on. Now they had the audio on for one of them. It was when the Bengals, the Jaguars and the Bengals a couple years ago. I remember that. They had the audio on for that, so it wasn't an ABC affiliate, so they get the games in for that too in the cruises. So
yeah, what's funny, Chip? The last time I cared about watching a game when I was at Disney was when the Bengals were playing the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl two years ago, and the Bengals were down like 21-6 or something terrible at halftime, and I remember my kids were napping. And I shut it off at halftime, and I told my wife, I was like, "We can go back to the parks because, like, I can't watch the second half. Like, it's the first time I like in my lifetime I've seen a team have a chance to go to the Super Bowl that I care about, and they were blowing it. And then, of course, they came back and won, and I wore my Bengals jersey at Magic Kingdom the rest of the afternoon, and the rest is history. But that is always an option, right? You can always watch it in your room. That's always something that you can do as well. So we hope you guys enjoy the games, and if you ever need any thoughts, you can come back to those. The next question is really timely because as we're recording, in the next 24 to 48 hours, we've got a hurricane coming in to the Florida area and the Gulf Coast. And, I talk on this show a lot about how great September and October are to go to Walt Disney World because you can get such great deals. And the reason that you get such great deals is that this is the risk. Like, this is the game of chicken that you're playing in terms of a vacation. And I don't want to sound insensitive because obviously our thoughts and prayers are with all the people that are going to be impacted by this.
Yeah.
But if we're only focusing on the impact of your vacation planning, and that's all that this is about, this is the risk that you take. This is the reason why you consider buying travel insurance. But it's also like, and I'm dealing with it myself, right? I was a couple days away from not being able to make it on my vacation, and I didn't buy travel insurance, so I would have lost my Halloween party ticket. I may or may not be doing a VIP tour, and I may or may not have lost, a significant deposit with that. So, like, you lose all your tickets. Like, and Disney is good about like helping out with some of these things when this kind of stuff occurs. But one of the questions is what happens at Disney if there's a hurricane or inclement weather? Chip, have you ever been at Disney where the weather's been like this bad or when there's been a hurricane?
We were leaving when it happened. Elsa or Hurricane Elsa or Tropical Storm Elsa a couple years ago. We were leaving. We were actually heading south. But I know just from friends that I have to have down there, like my parents' friends that are down there, they actually go check in at Disney. Mm-hmm. Because
from a safety perspective, like you've got nothing to worry about at Disney resorts.
It's one of those that every building is up to hurricane standard, every window, everything, and they say it's one of the safest places to be during hurricanes. So,
they do a really good job of getting food ready. Like they'll put together like little packages of food that can be peanut butter and jelly and like stuff like that. So, you're not going to have to worry about food and water and stuff. Like they do a really nice job, and there are a lot of locals that will come over and hunker down at the resorts for sure.
And one of my buddy I teach with, his wife was down there last year, and they got caught in it. And they said the parks they closed early and they opened later one day. So it happened overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And then they opened up at like 2 in the afternoon and everything was good. It's just one of those that they're used to it. They've got the plan. And yeah, it's just like a rainy day on the beach. It's one of those, you might have a day where it rains and you might have to hang out in your room and get to hang out with your family. I mean,
yeah,
that's one of those things.
They've already announced that the Halloween party for Thursday night is canceled. I've had a lot of guests that are impacted by that. You get a full refund, so Disney's been great about that. And then they're gonna keep Magic Kingdom open until 8 p.m. So it's gonna be pouring, it's going to be pouring the rain. They're gonna keep Magic Kingdom open until 8 p.m. They're not rescheduling that Halloween party. I've seen a lot of hubbub online about people upset about that. The reality is, like, if you rescheduled that Halloween party to Saturday, then all the people that planned a normal vacation that wanted to go to Magic Kingdom that day are getting kicked out at 6 p.m. So then you're hurting them too. There's no win-win scenario there. Like it's, it stinks. Like, I'm going down for the Halloween party. If I would have had to miss the Halloween party, it would have stunk, right? Like, your kids are disappointed. It's a big part of your planning, whatever. But like, Disney has no control over it whatsoever. And nobody wants to go in the middle of a hurricane to a Halloween party. You and I might,
Correct.
Chip.
I don't know.
We might.
I don't like wet socks, but I just wear my flip flops and just go on with it.
It'd just be me and you walking around Magic Kingdom, Chip. But like, to talk about some of the practicalities, this is why I really rarely recommend travel insurance. To be honest with you, it's hardly ever. And it's because if you've got a vacation package with Disney in particular, you can cancel up to 31 days in advance. Yeah. So outside of something like this, there's not a whole lot that's going to happen within 31 days of your vacation that's going to make you, not be able to go. And it can kind of be expensive, right? It's like $95 a person, for vacation insurance. So I tend to not recommend it, but this is the scenario. Like, if you're going in September, this might be the time that you need it. You're thinking about what are the terms and conditions for your flights? Are you going to be able to easily cancel and rebook? Can you drive if you need to? Those kinds of things, right? Because the reality is, like Chip said, the next day the parks are going to be open, and honestly, it'll probably be sunny, like the day after the hurricane's gone. But the rescheduling of your flight is going to be the nightmare, because the whole day's flights are probably going to get wiped. And then the next day are all going to be full, and you're going to be kind of up a creek a little bit. So, those are the things you have to start to think about. And then Disney, as a whole, like, they do a really nice job. They'll never tell you that you'll get a refund or a travel credit or anything like that. But I'll tell you, they're really good about these kind of things. So they work with guests about, giving you tickets that can be used on a different day. Maybe you come back in 6 months or something like that. And a lot of times they're going to give you a travel credit too, but they'll never promise any of that stuff. But from a customer service standpoint, that's what they do.
I know in the past, when it's been a hurricane that's lasted more than a couple of days, they just give you the food. It's not even like they're expecting money. Like, they know that they understand, like, hey, you're in a bind. Like, let's just make sure you're fed and be happy. Like, it's not, and that's where people, it's like, okay, we appreciate that,
Yeah. But it is the one moment where, like, and I thought about it a lot over the last couple of days when I was watching this, like, man, I should have bought the travel insurance or whatever, because tickets and, if you're doing tours or whatever, it can be expensive, and it's not an enjoyable pill to swallow.
Real quick on that, do you have to buy travel insurance the day you book your package?
You can book them up to, like, you can book it later. You can book it later for sure. And then, like, if you buy it, you have up to 14 days to cancel it, which is always like a tricky thing, right? So, like, let's say you bought it 31 days in advance of your vacation, like right before your final payments due. And then you basically have travel insurance for 14 days if something happens, and then you cancel that. Really, you only have to worry about the 14 days before your trip. But again, I don't like to play those games, so
that was
I never recommend it.
I'm just more wondered.
Yeah, I never recommend it, but again, I certainly understand, and support you either way is the way I look at it. The next question that we've got is this one was really interesting, man. I thought about this a lot this afternoon. part of it is that I book these so often and I quote them so often that I just think about what I would do. And the question was, is Art of Animation Finding Nemo Suite worth paying more than staying at Port Orleans Riverside? And I'm going to be honest with you. I think it was like $1,600 more, if I remember right, from the email over like 6 days or 5 days. $1,600 is a lot of money.
I saw it. You sent it to me, and I said no. That was my initial thought. It's not
and you
worth
didn't
it.
even know you didn't even know the amount of money.
Nope, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
And here's why. And my buddy Max Max, he'll say, Port Orleans Riverside. I'm going to get one bus stop. It's a small resort, and
It's not that small though.
But it's smaller. I would say it's smaller than walking from anywhere in Nemo. I mean, it's not as bad as Little Mermaid rooms, but
it's not Saratoga or anything, or Coronado for that matter. But it's not.
It's got a good
tiny
food court. And it's a moderate.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get a slide at the pool. I think
it does have a great pool. It's an underrated pool.
It is very underrated.
Yeah, I think really the only thing you're paying for there is the Skyliner access.
Yeah,
that's the reality. Like if you plan to spend a lot of time at Hollywood Studios and Epcot, or bouncing around Skyliner resorts for the the food, like if you want to go eat at Topolino's and stuff like that as part of your vacation, then I could see it, but $1,600 I'm not like. No.
Yeah, I didn't know the price, and I was still leaning towards no. $1,600. It's what do you get, an extra bathroom? I mean, is that
like the way that I look at these things is when I quote a family, I don't quote every single resort, right? When you get a quote from me, I usually look at like what the pricing tiers are, and I give you 2 values, 2 moderates, and 2 or 3 deluxes. And it's all based on like obviously what you tell me. Like if you say that your budget is X, I'm not going to give you the Polynesian club level or whatever, right? But the tiering that I do is usually based on what I see as the best value from doing this dozens of times every day. So if I see that like the Finding Nemo suite is significantly more than the moderate tier, which usually means it's way more than Pop Century, way more than Caribbean Beach, way more than Port Orleans Riverside, I'm not quoting it.
Yeah,
because it just doesn't, unless you have like a family of 5 or whatever, it doesn't make sense. So I think that's our answer on it. If you really love the Skyliner, you really want to stick to your vacation around the Skyliner, then by all means, I'm not going to fault you for it. But I don't think it's worth $1,600. I don't think Chip does either. So it's interesting. Next question, and we were, my wife and I were talking about this today because we're going to do something fun. Any unique ideas for character autographs?
I saw one when we were on our trip this summer, and I was like, okay, that one's pretty sweet. It was a kid they took their picture with it, but they took like the old photo book, and they knew they were going to put that picture there, and they had like the little white strip where you put, oh, this is this date, and that's where they had him sign. It was like, hey, I'm going to put this photo in there. I thought that was pretty cool. I know, dude, yours is still probably my favorite.
The Yeti bottle?
The Yeti bottle is probably my favorite. I'm not going to lie.
I would get it down for the people that watch on YouTube, but that is one of my favorites for sure. Yeah. So we did a couple, well, it was probably our last trip as a family. We got a white Yeti bottle. Every character that you go to meet has an array of different colors of Sharpies. They go right on the Yeti bottle. So the kids had the different characters sign the Yeti bottle as we went around, which was a lot of fun. And it's something I love. I keep it in my office. So that's a good one. I've heard of like people doing unique stuff for specific characters, like having Rapunzel sign a frying pan, which is, I think that's cute. I have seen what Chip talked about, which is like, having a photo album that's signed, or the mat of a picture frame. You could take a white mat. The problem with that is like it can be a little hard to navigate a hot park day. Like
Kelly and I talked about that, but we're like, it's gonna get bent in the stroller, right? Like that's tough.
The one that we're doing that I'm really excited about is we bought I think it's called an Instax or Instatax, something like that. It's a Fujifilm camera that's Polaroids for kids.
Okay.
So the little Polaroids are like they're like 3 inches by 2 inches or whatever, for those that are not watching on YouTube. And they're instant, via the Polaroid. You take the picture and then you have the character sign. There's like a bottom strip on the bottom of the Polaroid.
Yeah, that's
that
pretty
they can
cool.
sign. So we're gonna see how that goes, and if it goes well, I'll make like a video on Instagram or something about it. But
you can like collage that up. That'd be pretty cool.
So like we've done in the past, our daughter, who is 6, loves to do her own camera, right? And so, like, she's brought a digital camera and she'll take selfies with the characters or whatever, and they're so great about it. But we thought this would be like a fun camera that they can use, but also like my wife can use if she wants to get, creative or whatever. So that's another option that I think would be fun. I've seen, gosh, what have I seen? I've seen hats.
Yeah.
You could get a hat signed. You could do, I think I've seen like a quilt pattern.
I saw somebody carrying a plate one time. It was like one of those like decorative plates. Like you're never gonna put food on, but I was like, okay. I just thought as a family I couldn't do that, but I get it.
Yeah. Like that would get broken in my house for sure. But I think those are some fun ideas, and hopefully, if you guys have any ideas, let us know. Certainly. But hopefully that gets you started, and maybe you can find some other stuff on Pinterest or whatever it is. Let's see. The next listener question was, Hollywood Studios is closing at 9, but Fantasmic says it starts at 9:30. Is that right?
Yes.
Chip, teach them.
It is right. So what they're saying is it's the last 9 o'clock's the last call to get on a ride. Fantasmic's going to start at 9:30, which they probably open the thing at 8:45, 8:30. And you got to walk about a mile back there. It's not really a mile. It just seems like a mile.
It literally might be a mile.
It might be. I don't know. It's forever with the stroller, and it's terrible. But they do that. It starts at 9. It'll be done at 10 or 9:57. It's 27 minutes long. And then you got to walk a mile back. So, but once you leave, you'll exit down Sunset, and the stores are open. But you can't go to the rides. They're going to usher you towards the exit.
Right. And there'll still be also like dining reservations will be finishing up. You'll be able to also get Oga's Cantina reservations after the park is technically closed. So if the park closes at 9, you'll see some Oga's reservations that are available after 9 p.m. Yep. It's my favorite thing to do, right? Yeah. You go but then because you're at Oga's so far back, on your way out, you get some really cool pictures because there's nobody in the parks. So you can always do that. But yeah, you can hang out on Sunset for a long time, and you can get those empty park photos after Fantasmic also. But that is right. And another question that we get all the time that I'll just answer now is the Skyliner will be open for another hour after that, usually. So, but if it's not, you'll be able to walk out and the buses will be running to all the resorts.
Yeah.
So just bear that in mind.
And normally they'll put the Skyliner times when you're getting off the Skyliner. You'll see, hey, last Skyliner leaves at 10:45 or whatever. It
Right. They'll let you know. And you can always ask cast members also. So building off of that, when we're talking about Fantasmic, is the Phantasmic dining package worth it? And our friends Lauren and Athena from Main Street Tourist and Kingdoms & Co., when we were down there with them and we did the after hours event, they did this, right? They did the Phantasmic dining package. I don't remember where they ate for their meal.
I think
there's a number of different options.
I think they ate at Mama Melrose, I believe.
So you can do Mama Melrose, you can do Hollywood and Vine, you can do the Brown Derby Lounge, and I think there's one other that I'm forgetting offhand.
50s
Prime Time. No, that's the one that they did. They did 50s Prime Time. I'm pretty sure it was 50s Prime Time. I'll have to ask Lauren about it. But they did it, and I think that they said that they would do it again, because in comparison, we got there, Chip, you, and your wife and your daughter, and we were at the very end, at the very back of the seating. Now, like, we didn't get there early or anything. We've seen Fantasmic a bunch of times. It wasn't like a rush, but you get great seats, and that's what you like. If you're planning to eat a meal at Hollywood Studios anyway, you like one of those restaurants, it completely makes sense, I think. But
I agree.
I don't. At the same time, I don't do it.
We did it in 18, I think we did Hollywood and Vine for breakfast, which was the Disney Junior characters at the time. It was worth it. Cause we rolled in, says the show started at 9:30. We rolled in about 9:20 and we were like the high row right in the middle.
And what they do, if you don't know about Fantasmic seating, right? They don't do it row by row. They do it section by section.
Yeah.
So you get seated, like the first section gets seated from the front row to the back row. Then the next section gets seated from the front row to the back row. So just because you get there early doesn't mean you won't be at the top of one of the sections. You have to like maneuver your way to be able to get like the front row of one of the sections. So that said, like the Fantasmic dining package, what you're getting there is not a front row seat or a back row seat. You're getting the middle sections of the amphitheater.
Yes.
Which is a great spot.
It's phenomenal for entering and leaving. Leaving's the big thing because it's a bottleneck. It's rough.
Yeah, I mean that's like the downside we had of getting there late and being at the very end of the amphitheater is we had to wait for literally everybody to get out for us to get out. Yeah. Because you're all trying to get down one little, street path, and it's, thousands of people at that point. So, that can be tough. So is it worth it? I think there's a lot of people that would say that it is. Chip obviously thinks that it is.
Yeah. And it's one of those, if you're going to eat at those restaurants, you might as well do it anyways. I mean, I think a lot of times it's a prefix menu. Sometimes you can order whatever you want and you just get it's the old fast pass ticket thing. But yeah, it is worth it if you really want to see it. Number one, you're not waiting in line, and number two, you're getting a good seat. So,
and see, I think that what's great about this episode is you're going to get two different opinions here because for me it's not, yeah. And the only reason why, like to Chip's point, for the seating purpose, I like you can convince me. The problem I have is I don't like any of the meals at Hollywood Studios, right?
Yeah.
So I don't really care to eat at any of those restaurants, which throws it out the window for me. Like I would literally, and I've done this before, especially when I'm not with my family and it's easy to do. I will leave Hollywood Studios, go to Epcot or the Riviera and eat, and then just come back to Hollywood Studios. Like I will take that much time out of my day just because I don't really like the food at Hollywood Studios. Yeah. That's just me. Like there's people that like absolutely love the Brown Derby Lounge. That rave about it. I had guests that were there for lunch this afternoon, and they absolutely loved it. It's just not my vibe. So
yeah.
To me, you really got to dig into. Do I want one of these character meals like the Hollywood and Vine? Our friend Alex and her family are going to go do the Hollywood and Vine character breakfast because they had to cancel their Topolino's reservation.
Okay.
If you want those Disney Junior characters, by all means, do it. Like,
yeah, and
I'm here for it.
And my wife will tell you it's probably her favorite breakfast. It's better than Chef Mickey's. She loves the Hollywood and Vine.
That's not saying much. Chef Mickey stinks.
But like I said, Hollywood and Vine's got a bad review in too. But she loved it.
That's true.
She loved it.
The next and last question, it builds off of this, and this is where I flip my enthusiasm. Is the fireworks dessert package at Magic Kingdom worth it? Chip, what do you think?
This is where we're going to be different. I don't think it is.
Fair enough.
And it might just be because we've had dumb luck and we've gotten good standing spots for fireworks. I've never not watched it in the hub. I mean, one year we were about 10 rows back on Main Street, but it's still a good view. But I'm also not going to sit and wait for it. Like we just kind of roll up 10, 15 minutes before it gets going. And for some reason we get in it, but for me, it's just not.
You're
worth
also
it.
6'5". Like
that is
people should understand that.
6'6". Come on,
6'6". All right,
give me that extra inch.
So like Chip's ability to like maneuver into a spot is a little bit easier than like the average human being that like you want to be able to see it.
Well, and that's the other thing is I also have to pay for 7 tickets. Well, right now it would be 5, but I'm not going to do that.
Right.
Even with 7. Now, if it's my wife and I, and we're giving up not eating a meal that night, and we're going to do the snacks and have a couple drinks, then yeah, that would probably be what we would do. But not as a whole family.
For those that don't know, when you get the fireworks dessert package, you get to sit in the hub grass. To when you're looking at the castle, it's to the right in front of the ice cream parlor. It's a private area, but they do pack it like
Yeah.
you don't get to sit down on you can sit down on the grass while you're waiting or whatever, but you stand up and they move you to the front and everybody's kind of packed into that area of the hub. But it is a really, really great spot to watch the fireworks, and you don't have to battle with people. You walk over like 10 or 15 minutes before it starts. You get a great spot. You don't have to worry about anything. You also get beer, wine, or well, I guess it's beer and champagne, water, juice for the kids, milk, that kind of thing. And then a full like array of desserts, cheese, fruit, that kind of stuff. That's in the Tomorrowland Terrace. And what we like to do is when we book this, we will, because there's like table seating there and it's only allowed for the party people. So there's plenty of like seats for you to sit down at a table. We order quick service at Casey's and just bring that over and sit at the table, eat, and then go have dessert or whatever and hang out. And then we walk over to the hub grass and watch the fireworks. And from my perspective, it's worth it for the access for when you have kids. If you have just adults, like you can deal with finding a spot to watch the fireworks and standing for 30 or 45 minutes. Like you can manage. Like, or if you have older kids, you can manage. When you've got younger kids that can't sit still for 30 or 45 minutes and you really want to see happily ever after, and you know that there's like a high likelihood that they're going to get crabby, right? That's the other part of it, is that you're keeping them out later than normal as it is. Then this is worth it, in my opinion. Because you don't have to deal with all that nonsense.
And I will tell you this: if we're gonna do one, like if you said, "Hey, pick a fireworks or evening hours thing," I would do the Magic Kingdom fireworks. I'm not gonna. I wouldn't pay X amount of, like I wouldn't do a fireworks party at Fantasmic. I wouldn't do one at Epcot. I would do it at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, like that to me is where I come down on it. It's a splurge, but to me, it's like the one splurge a trip that you do where you're like, we know we're going to stay out one night late because our kids are not going to manage otherwise. And for the one night late, we want it to be as good and comfortable as possible. So this is the way we're going to do it. The other cool thing that I'm like looking forward to the next time we do this is that you can, like, because it's easy to get access, you can go and ride something while other people are starting to wait.
Yeah.
Because you know that you're going to be able to just pop into the hub grass 10 or 15 minutes before, instead of having to get in that spot, 30 or 45 minutes or even an hour. Like there's people that start in the hub, an hour plus before the fireworks.
Now going with that kind of question, I know there's two of them. There's a before and after. What time's the before party start?
Offhand, I don't remember like how early you can get in there, but I want to say it's like 5:30 or 6 o'clock. Okay. It's early.
Yeah.
And the reason why I know it's early is because that's when my kids eat dinner. So like that's why that's when we're heading over there. So to me, like I've never been disappointed in spending that money for that opportunity, but it is not, it is absolutely a splurge, and it's more of a comfort management of your kids kind of thing. And it's not something I certainly am not doing it for the food. I'm not doing it for the desserts. I'm doing it for the access, right? Like that's really what it's for. So that's going to wrap it up for our questions this week, because we're getting kind of long. And as always, we appreciate it. You can send them in to matt@adventuresofadisneydad.com. You can also, reach us on social media. I'm at Adventures of a Disney Dad on all social media platforms. Chip, where can people find you on Instagram and X?
Yeah, so Instagram, it is Robinson Dad Life, and then X is just my name, Chip Robinson. But yeah, just shoot me a DM and I'll respond. We're social people. We'll talk to anybody.
Absolutely, and on Threads too. Like I've been kind of off Threads the last couple of days, but man, I love Threads.
It's so confusing to me, and I know it's like Twitter or X or whatever. It's just there's so much layers to it, and it's like peeling an onion.
It's way different crowds and way different subject matter and that kind of thing. But all the links for our social profiles and our email and all that fun stuff are also going to be in the show notes, so you can check those out and get them there. And as always, if if you want to work with me, if you want me to help plan your Disney vacation or your Universal vacation, your Disney cruise, anything like that, I would love to help you. My services are completely free. I'm a travel agent with the Magic for Less Travel. And all the links to get a quote are going to be in the show notes. There's no obligation or anything like that. I'd love to help you plan a great trip. The one thing that I've been getting a lot of, Chip, lately is like people that got burned on not getting Bibbidi Boppity Boutique, and then they reach out to me. Once that window is gone, there's not much I can do.
You know what's funny is somebody asked me that today. Like, hey, we're going, and they won tickets on something, and their mom won tickets, and it's a friend of ours, and said, I really want to get Bibbidi Boppity Boutique. And I was like, well, it's 60 days, and you got to get up early or stay up late. One of the two.
Yeah. So I booked it last night for a guest. And so it opened at 11 p.m. my time. And I think she was November 24th to the 29th was her vacation. And before it even opened for her, it was sold out through the 28th, like in the afternoon. So Jeez. The only opportunity for her was like 2 slots on the 28th. And I got it, but it was like there are going to be people that have shorter vacations in December, like 2 or 3 days, that it literally won't even be available when it opens for you.
Wow.
So like the travel agent or not, there's nothing anybody's gonna be able to do to help you. But the point is, like, for somebody, like, I do this a lot. Like most nights I'm doing Bibbidi Boppity Boutique and then dining the next morning. So reach out to us. We'd love to help. It doesn't cost you anything. Take some of the stress out of it, and we'll take care of it for you. So otherwise, I'm gonna have a great trip at Walt Disney World this weekend.
You better be sending me pictures. I know you will.
I was debating whether or not I need to take the mic and do our recording next week live from the Riviera. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm open. I mean, the Browns aren't playing well. We could definitely do it Sunday.
Oh gosh, yeah. Sunday night is when I'll be at the Halloween party. And Chip, I am actually looking forward to you seeing my costume.
I was gonna say,
I feel like you might appreciate it.
You gonna give us a sneak peek or no?
I can't. You know what? Right. Here's my hint that I'll give. It's a reference to a very, very popular Disney character, but it's not my portion of the costume is not Disney IP.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So our group is a very Disney group, but my portion of it is not Disney IP. So nice. If you can get that, more power to you, but I'm really excited. It's right up our alley for any of you 90s kids. So
see, you know what? I wasn't even thinking 90s. Now I'm totally confused.
Mm-hmm. The lead actor from the movie that played the main Disney character is no longer with us. I'll give you that hint too.
Oh, interesting.
So anyway, until next time, we appreciate it. We will see you guys in the parks.
We'll see you when we see you.